We're going to turn this dining room in our RV from boring, ugly brown to cozy cute.
Let's do something about these ugly brown cabinets and outdated features in our RV. I started by removing the cabinet doors and hardware and prepping for paint.
I don't know where I'm going to put this though. Okay, I'm really committed here.
The prep is honestly the most important part of painting cabinetry. I gave everything a quick sand and applied crud cutter, which helps take that shiny paint finish off and allows the paint to adhere better. Then I primed all the top cabinets using a bonding primer. Before painting the lower section, I decided to cut a cubby out for shoe storage. I used a multi-tool to cut out the area, and then I added some extra braces and lined the inside with leftover vinyl tile from our bathroom floor. I attached it to the sides using construction adhesive. Then I primed the lower section and painted everything all together. I did 2 coats of the green paint, and I made sure to sand and wipe clean between coats.
Now the fun part where we get to put it all back together. I'm going to use some wallpaper to line these cupboards up here.
I even lined the inside sides to hide all the brown, and I placed some dollar store containers on the shelf for organization. I also changed out the curtain. I got these curtain hooks from Amazon, which are perfect for RVs, and I purchased a blackout curtain and adjusted it to fit the size I wanted.
Okay, we're almost there. I got these cushion covers on Amazon. I feel like I'm probably going to have to make some alterations because ours are a little bit odd sizing, but we're going to see.
I had to make some adjustments to the cushion covers I bought, but I love how they turned out and how easy it is to cover that old ugly RV pattern. Still over here trying to figure out why they make RVs so ugly.
And that is how I transformed my RV with some paint, some cushion covers, new curtains, some fun decor. I hope this inspires you to get creative with paint and decor to spruce up your RV from boring brown to cozy cute. Thank you so much for watching Home Talk. See you next time.
If you're looking for a DIY project with serious bang for your buck, peel and stick wallpaper is the answer. First, check your packaging to ensure you have enough rolls for your wall size. Next, clear the area and give your walls and baseboards a deep clean. My wallpaper was 18 inches wide, so I used the edge of a door frame as my guide to keep the first run straight. I used a yardstick to mark exactly 18 inches out from that frame to know exactly where my paper needed to lay. Starting at the top, peel the backing off and work your way down, smoothing as you go. I actually used a dough cutter to spread the paper and remove air bubbles. It works just as well as professional tools. When you reach a switch, use a box knife to carefully cut around it. For safety, turn the power off to the outlets first so there's no danger of catching a little electricity with your blade. Once you reach the bottom, press the paper firmly into the baseboard and trim the excess with your knife. With a large print like this, matching the pattern is key. It can be a bit of a piece job, so don't throw away your scraps. I stuck leftover pieces to the wall to use later for those small gaps over doors where I didn't need a full sheet but still needed a perfect match. Trimming around specific areas like my pantry door was surprisingly easy and fast. This project perfectly complemented my existing paint and yellow window treatments. It completely brightened the room, and my whole family loves it.
I wanted to create this built-in bench seating, and seeing some wood pallets gave me an idea. The first thing I did was mark a line with a Sharpie where the back of the bench and the seat part would connect. This way I could be sure not to put padding in that area. Next, I cut my materials. I measured the width of the boards and cut my materials at least twice as wide. I created tufted channels by laying down the mattress topper with the smooth side up toward me, then lay the batting on top of that. I only went down to the Sharpie line that I drew as my guide so that I wouldn't have padding in that area. I pushed the padding and the batting in between the slats to the back of the pallet. After I had done a few, I realized I didn't like the way the foam was bunching up where the support board crosses the back of the pallet. So I cut the mattress topper back in this area so that it would fit around a little bit better. Once you have those in place, add your material over top and you can start to see how it's going to look. I had to play with the material a bit to try to get it as smooth as possible. While I loved the look and feel of this fabric, if I were to do it again, I would definitely choose a stiffer, thicker fabric. I secured the fabric at the bottom where my Sharpie drawn line was. Now I lifted my pallet and started securing things in the back. I wasn't worried about the look of the back since I was going to mount this whole bench to my wall and the back wasn't going to be visible anyways. I secured the fabric to the back using my staple gun, being careful not to pull it tight. Sometimes when I pulled it too tight, I created visible gaps between the tufted channels and I had to go back and correct those. So I wanted to wrap around gently so that the channels were touching. At the top, I secured the fabric as well. This gets covered later, but it was important to stay consistent with how I secured it. I tried to create little folds in mine and remained consistent with that all along the top. For the edge piece, I wrapped it around and secured it in place, and I played with the top material a bit so that I could secure it in a way that I felt looked nice. I found that folding and stapling it created a nice pattern around the top. Now, for the bench. I cut my second pallet in half lengthwise. Then I cut the mattress topper, batting, and fabric to size. Looking back, I would have used more padding here on the bench, probably 3 times as much as I did here. I secured everything in place and then flipped it over to work on the bottom. At this point, I realized that I had to remove a broken board, and I chose to reinforce the sides of my bench with 1x4s on both sides. This also gave me something to adhere to. For the legs, I just used leftover wood, joined them together, and then secured them to the bench. Now it was time to put it together. It was much heavier than I originally anticipated, so I needed some help. Once the bench and backing were secured, I could see how tall this would be. Now I could start working on finishing the top. To do this, I laid a piece of fabric, pretty side down, over the top. Then I attached the tack strip along the top, making sure to staple it onto the edge of the wood, which I could feel underneath with my fingers. When the fabric is flipped over, the tack strip provides a really great edge and a nice finish. From here, I headed down to the front of the bench area. I added a 1x4 along the bottom of the bench. Again, I added mattress topper and secured that in place. Then I added the fabric and tack strip along the top. It's important to make sure to secure it above the foam so that the foam doesn't poke out when you flip the fabric back over. I wrapped the fabric along to the side and secured it in place. Then I added fabric, again with the tack strip underneath, to the sides of the bench. This took some maneuvering, but it worked out after I played with it a bit. It still needed some smoothing out, but it was coming along well. Now that the bench seat allowed us to move the dining area toward the wall, we moved the light fixture, and once the furniture was added in the space, the bench seat really served its purpose and was nice and tall along the wall. This was a fun challenge to take on, and while I would use different fabric and more padding on the seat if I were to do it again, it definitely worked for us. It was sturdy, the exact height we wanted, and at a price that fit the budget. I think I may use a pallet to create a tufted channel headboard in the future. I hope this inspired you to upcycle a wood pallet to create a tufted channel bench or even a headboard. Thanks for watching Home Talk, and see you next time.
So, like most teenage girls, my daughter's style changes on a regular basis. And so when she wanted to redo her room, I found this peel and stick wallpaper that we liked to go ahead and put on her walls. So once you have your wallpaper stuck, you want to go ahead and check your wallpaper with the level to make sure that the base, our first piece, is put on straight so we can set it up for the rest of the wall. So we're going to move on. I'm going to go ahead and continue to remove the backing of the wallpaper as we go down and use my credit card to smooth out the bumps as I go down. To get a clean cut, make sure that you use your straight edge to cut along the mold. So now that we have our first strip up, we are realizing that because my walls are textured, it's a little harder for the wallpaper to stick to. So if you do have textured walls, just know that you are going to have to put in a little more work to make sure that it sticks. Another benefit of peel and stick wallpaper is you can keep adjusting it. As you can see, I have a little bit of a space here, so I can remove some of the bath, then peel the wallpaper off the wall and go ahead and readjust it. So with our last strip, I trimmed it before I put it on the wall, and I obviously cut it a little too short. Wallpaper I have has this print on it, and I don't want that on the wall. So we're going to go ahead and put it up there, and then we'll trim once we have the wallpaper in place. So as you can see, for our spot around the door, it's going to take a bit of maneuvering to make sure that we have all of the crosses lined up and that it goes around the door in the same pattern.
I absolutely love this project. I would 100% recommend it to other people. It completely transformed this space. It was very affordable. It was very easy to put up. And what I love, like I said before, is that we can just take it down once she's moved on from this wallpaper and ready for something new.